What an amazing day. First and foremost, just a class act. D'Amico Ryans, the Texans, their whole staff. They were so accommodating. And then I think just the culture that they're building here, their players, they got a talented football team. They played so hard. There was physical hits, great effort all across the field, and done with class. And I just really appreciated that part of it, and I was excited about the work we were able to get in. I didn't see any of the defensive side, so I was on the offensive field over here. In the middle of the practice, we got really sloppy. We had about 5 pre-snap penalties in one drive. We're looking at some, first and 15s, a couple of sacks. I thought it got sloppy in the middle. Responded at the end with 2 great 2-minute finishes for touchdowns at the end of the practice over here, which was phenomenal. And I just keep convincing our guys that's who we are. We finish. Games can get ugly in the middle. We have to be able to refocus and rebound. So I was really excited about that part.
Dave, specific to Bryce, in that 2-minute segment, I mean, he's going up against a better graded competition. I mean, those are some really good defensive players. What did you see from him there, and what's kind of the takeaway from that segment?
Yeah, just our processes, getting to the line, using his tools, using his answers, reading coverages, and just being accurate with the ball, extending plays when he had to. And the more opportunities he gives our guys to make plays, they've come through for him. And I think we got a big defensive pass interference that actually flipped the field. So you can see how it goes both ways. But he did a great job today.
You talked about the pre-snap penalties after the preseason game. What is that? I mean, how do you fix that?
Yeah, I just keep teaching the guys, and they see it when we get into these situations. Our guys are very competitive. They want to win. And all of a sudden, you're looking at, first and 15. You're looking at second and 20. And they can feel how deflating those situations can be. We've overcome that at times, but it's hard. It's hard to get those explosives to get yourself back on track, but it's something we have to keep teaching off of, and ultimately to let them know, like the guys that are repeat offenders, we're not going to be able to play you. You're not going to be able to help us if you keep putting us in bad situations.
You talk about that wide receiver group. It's the Shaq room, and like you said, the Texans have some pretty good DBs. What did you see out of that group today?
I saw good battles. They had their work's worth today. With a fantastic group, with Stingley and Lassiter and Petrie and Bullock back there. Sorry if I'm missing any of the other great players. They had a couple of, players out there that were covering us tightly all day. Everything that we caught, we had to work for. It's such great work for us, to be in that kind of a competitive environment that way. And you win some, you lose some, you got to go to the next play. So it was a great challenge for our guys.
Dave, Bryce and CJ go 1 and 2 in the draft. CJ, offensive rookie of the year. Bryce has the good finish last year. Did you study, I guess, CJ when he was coming out, and what do you see in their games that are similar at all, and then how are they different?
Yeah, I think some similarities that both guys had is just their charisma, their leadership ability. That was very apparent in their college film, watching that. The accuracy, the ability to move off the pocket, extend plays. Is a bonus to what they do, but I think it's really like you're talking about 2 first-class guys, that are leaders of their team. CJ came over and said hello and just wanted to make sure he connected, and I really appreciate that. And Bryce did the same thing. These guys have a lot of respect for each other. They've known each other for a really long time, both Southern California kids, the cradle of quarterbacks, and so they just they have that kind of, they have that connection. They also have that competitive edge, like where they push each other, I'm sure, from afar. So it was really cool to have both of those guys out here working.
Dave, I know you've been kind of stickler about penalties in practice. Seems like there are quite a few on the offensive side. What did you take away from maybe the discipline?
Fatigue, lack of focus. That's something that we have to learn to do better. We have to be able to fight through fatigue, fight through exhaustion. It's going to be hot. We're going to go to Jacksonville week 1. It's going to feel like this. Can we maintain that level of focus play after play? Regardless of what the last play did, can you breathe on your way back, and then can you execute? And I saw the penalties pile up when we were tired. That's something that we have to get better at.
Did you, sorry, I got you late, but did you give us an update on Nick Scorton?
Yeah, Scorton just overheated, so they got him they have a cooling trailer like we have, so they got him in there, try to get his core temperature back down. He had to take some IV fluids, and we just didn't feel comfortable putting him back out there to finish the practice. You get dehydrated, first thing happens is you get soft tissue injuries, and of course, worse things can happen when you're overly heated. But they did a good job of catching that, getting him in there, cooling him down. We'll get him some more fluids, and hopefully we can get him turned around so he can play in the game.
David, you didn't get to watch defense today.
Yeah.
In general, what has Pat Jones kind of added to that rush?
Just a physical style of play, exactly what we're looking for, to be disruptive on the edge, to really blow stuff up. It starts with the run game, and he does that for sure. And then in a pass rush setting, he's got a nice speed to power move, and he's got counters, so he kind of keeps tackles guessing, and he can rush inside. So he's doing a great job, and he's a pro's pro. The way he prepares and works is awesome.
Yeah, there's Jalen Coker and Trevin Wallace. How are they doing?
Yes, good. So Trevin has a personal matter that I won't get into, but he showed up. He actually flew in this morning, so he's back with the team here. And then Coker had a fever last night, swollen lymph nodes, so they think it's some type of an infection. So they're treating him antibiotics and all that. And they said he's getting better. He's at the hotel right now, improving, and hopefully we can turn him around so he can play.
You obviously held JC out. Will
Yeah.
he be held out Saturday?
Yeah, I would think so.
You talked about this earlier, but how important was it to get a hot practice before Jacksonville when Charlotte's been a little unseasonably cool this week?
I know we kind of been spoiled with the weather a little bit, but I felt confident about our conditioning level. I think that we're dosing the guys the right way, pushing them, pushing them a little bit beyond their limits, every day, and trying to increase their workload. This was a crescendo of the hard work. I love that we were able to come out here to play all the way through, finish with great 2-minute drives over here on the offensive field. I got to check out the defensive side, but I just kind of was looking around, and for the most part, this is a very fit group that's ready to play football. I love the fact that we got this heat. We know we opened up at Jacksonville, but again, guys, it's football. We'll be prepared for it. We let the guys know, go out there, give everything you have. We see that you're gassed, we'll get somebody else out there, and that's where the depth that we're building here is so important as we continue into the season.
3 series still for the game on?
That's the hope. I want to see how we come out of today, because I know, like, right after the practice, thank the Lord, it feels like we came out pretty clean. But things kind of present themselves. Soreness will present itself tonight, so we'll have to kind of reconfigure in the morning, see where we're at, to see how long we want to play them. But they will be playing.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you,
Yep.
Dave.
Thank you.
Trevin will play Saturday.
Hello.
Hey, how
Appreciate y'all for traveling.
Well, thanks for having me. Bryce, got to see a bunch of former teammates, especially on that Texans defense. What was it like going up against those guys after a few years of being away?
Yeah, it's awesome. There's a lot of guys that super close with. I have some brothers on this team, and just us being able to live out our dreams is really cool. Both of us, when the plays are going out here, we're just here to compete. I'm a Panther, they're Texans. That's all that matters in the time. But after, it's great to see. Again, it's a lot of people I'm close with, a lot of people that I'm so happy just to see them where they're at succeeding. They feel the same way about me, so it's definitely a blessing.
Sounds like you're losing your voice.
Yeah, we cadences. That's how football do that.
Bryce, I'm assuming in that group of people you referred to as special would be CJ. How cool is it that to see him on that stage, you're on this stage? Would you ever, maybe you did kind of envision it years ago when you all were playing AAU basketball?
Yeah, it's a blessing. That's my brother, and for us to be out here living our dreams, we've seen how hard we've worked. I know how hard he works to get here. I've followed his journey as a fan, as a friend, as a brother through everything, and to see where he's at now. Again, I'm super proud to see how it means a lot. I'm always rooting for him. That's my guy. So, I'm sure he said the same with me. So it's just, it's a blessing. When the practice is going, I'm rooting for the defense. I'm hoping that we make every play. That's all that matters. But before and after, I try not to take it for granted. Us being able to live our dreams, be here, it's special. So I'm super blessed for that.
Bryce, things could have been a lot different. Had CJ been drafted number 1, you've been drafted number 2, just the place you're at. But what do you think about what you guys have done so far at your respective?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, I mean, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm sure CJ will say the same thing about here. God doesn't make mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm super grateful to be a Panther. Again, for me, from my standpoint, always just trying to improve as a team, as a unit, as a group. We're trying to keep going, trying to keep getting better. Coach just talks about winning the day, taking it one day at a time. He always says, it's the best day we got because it's all we got. And, that's the mindset. Today, it'll be the mindset tomorrow. So, again, for me, I'm grateful where I'm at, grateful to be where my feet are and continue to build with this group that I love.
How would you assess the offensive production today?
Yeah, I think it was a good day. I think that we had some explosives. I think we had some plays that we want back. I think that there's just great tape for us to learn from, good or bad. It was great to be able to go up against a great defense like Houston has. Great for us to come out in this weather, which is different, just for us to be able to fight through things. Haven't watched the film yet, so it's never as good as you think, never as bad as you think. You never really get the full tale of the tape until you watch it. But I feel good about how we competed. That's really what we pride ourselves in. Feel good about our attitude towards things, and then as we watch the tape, we'll see what we can improve on.
Specifically in that 2-minute segment late, I mean, what is it about those segments that you feel most comfortable in?
I think that really it's the communication and the effort that we put into that. It's not just calling plays and us lining up and figuring out what we're going to do. The coaching staff does a great job of making a point of emphasis to work things, go over situations, have little caveats to rules, and we have a lot of big reps at it. So I think for not just me but all of us as a unit, that gives us a lot of comfortability in 2 minutes. We have a great menu, a great list of stuff that is simple or complex on the outside, but for us we have a lot of reps in it. That's credit to the coaching staff and to all the guys buying into that process.
I was sort of screened off on that deep ball down the sideline of Bryson. Did he catch that, or was that?
Yeah, he made a great catch. Made a great catch versus good coverage. Did a great job fighting through on the route. And Bryce is someone who's been super consistent, super steady, super hard worker. For someone being so new, we all have that trust and confidence in him by how he carries himself. So have all the confidence in the world that he's going to come down with it.
Right.
I know you and CJ have been.
Really deep. Oh, sorry.
I
The
know.
wide receiver group is really deep. You guys are the coach is going to have some decisions to make in a couple of days here. Can you talk about what you've seen from that group in the joint practices versus the Browns and today?
Yeah, just stepping up to competition. Coach talks about not trying to raise our level, but to make sure we sync to the level of our training and technique. And you see them just being who they are, consistent. And it seems, it seems like they're stepping up in reality. They're doing exactly what the coaches are saying, being consistent on a day-to-day. You see that it brings out the best in all of us, gives us that ability to see tighter, have more focus. So, yeah, like you said, it's an extremely competitive group. It's unfortunate how NFL is that we can't keep all of them because they all deserve it based on how hard they work, how much they produce. So, obviously, that'll be a front office thing, but we have confidence in all the guys across the board.
Bryce, I know you and CJ have been friends for a really long time. Would you be able to share with me something that he's brought to your life as a friend?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I think one of the biggest things that I respect about him is just his consistency as a person. He's someone that I've seen, I've been around him in a lot of different outside perspectives. I've seen him as an overlooked middle schooler, high schooler that I've been around that was just as good, but didn't get the following, didn't have the offers, didn't have the hype. I've seen him at Ohio State play have after one game people acting like he's not good and people saying he's this and that to go on and have the career he's had and be the man at Ohio State. I've seen him here ups and downs. I've seen him have so much success at this level. Throughout all that, he's been the exact same person. He's been family oriented, great person on and off the field. Someone that obviously I know a lot of people on this team, and everyone tells me how great of a leader he is, how much he means for this team, offense, the entire team, the entire unit, the person he is. So I think just his ability to be that same person, regardless of what his circumstances are, is one of the things that I admire the most.
Bryce, you guys have that basketball background in common. A couple of years ago, you compared yourself to Darius Garland, him to Michael Porter Jr. Now that you're 2 years in the league, have those kind of evolved? Have you seen differences in the two of you since then?
No, I don't think so. I don't think either of us had a lot of time to evolve our basketball game. So I think we're who we're going to be.
Or just in the two of you together. In terms of football, what it's been like, just the journey from where you guys were joined on draft night to now.
Yeah, I think, of course, obviously we both gotten more experience, both gotten more familiarity, more comfortability in where we're at. And it's cool to just be able to have conversations in the off season from, oh, wow, year one, this surprise, this happened. Year two, oh, wow, this happened to you. Yeah, this happened to me. This is what I see. So it's cool, again, to have someone that I'm so close with and been friends for a while to kind of be able to traverse things at a similar timetable is definitely a blessing.
10 years ago, you and CJ played against each other in the Pomona Steelers versus IE Ducks game.
Yeah.
Just thinking back to that, what do you kind of remember for that game? What were some cool things about that game? And how cool is it to see that a decade later you guys are at a training camp practicing against each other?
Yeah, it was a fun game. A lot of people out there. But, again, same person. I think that game, CJ played corner, too, because that's the competitor he is, someone who was doing everything to help his team win on both sides. It was a lot of fun being able to play that game. And, again, it's such a blessing to have that, be able to look at that. And in the moment, again, we're both all about the team. We're doing whatever it takes to win. Out here in practice, we want to win the day. But before and after, it's really cool to be able to reflect on that and just see how blessed we are.
How was it at corner?
Oh, that was a long time ago. I don't remember. I'm sure it was, back in 8th grade, we're ready here. Traditionally, we're pretty athletic compared to the rest of 8th grade. So I don't remember, to be honest, but I'm sure it was good.
All right, thanks, Bryce.
Drink you some lemonade honey.
It's like this.